Is y'all ready? Because I'm ready. Love during lockup. Title is Ready or Not? No. Love me not. And we're on episode 7, 37 for them. And let's get into it because, yeah. So they start off with Shanta and True. And True goes to where Shanta is, like her town or whatever, to like pop up on her and cook her a meal because their relationship didn't even last that long. You know, they were supposed to open up a restaurant and all type of stuff. If y'all check out Love During Lockup, but it didn't even last that long. So he was like, you know, now that she told him that she's pregnant with twins, he always wanted twins, and now he's regretting the whole breakup. And it hurt him the fact that she told him that she don't want him to be a part of the kids' lives. So he finna pop up on her and go get his girl back. And he went to the store. He didn't even know how to use the self checkout. He didn't know which eggs to get, which cheese to get. Like it was just so many options. You know what I mean? Like so overwhelming. And the people in the store was helping him. You know, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. But he popped up at Shanta's house. He gonna cook her omelets. Cause I'm like, is that the only thing he know how to make? Cause when he was in jail being a chef, they was showing us that he was making omelets. So I'm like, is this is the chef? Like, what else can he make? What do they have in jail that you can cook like that? Cause from what the other jails be saying, the food don't be good. So how you got a chef in jail? But I don't know. The one girl that went to the Martha Stewart jail, she got stuff to, you know. I guess everyone is different. I don't know. I'm just watching, trying to observe. But he popped up at Shanta's house and she was looking at him at the door. He was like, "You want me to leave? You ain't gonna open the door. It's cold." And then she was like, "True." And then that was it with them. Then they went over to Zariah and Troy, and I'm like, Zariah seems like she's the problem, but I don't know. Troy could be the problem, and he just not showing the cameras like us that he's the problem. Maybe he's just showing her. But like from what I see, she always mad at him, and he only been out of jail 3 days, and it's like, girl, you need to regulate your emotions because that reading got you on 20 when you need to be on 0 observing. Like what? So they're getting ready. It's his third day out. The mama's out over at the house. It's the morning. They're getting ready to go back up to Buffalo so that Troy can see his daughter. And then they flash back to the reading where the lady told Zariah that the baby mama's still in love with Troy and, you know, does she want to be happy or married? And she don't see the relationship lasting. So Zariah is in the bathroom putting on her makeup and stuff and getting ready. Troy's walking around the house asking his mom, is she ready? Is she okay? His mom getting irritated, like, why do you keep asking me, am I okay? I'm better than y'all. Like, leave me alone. And then he go in there to talk to Zariah to see, like, you know, is she okay? What's going on? You know, she is mad because I guess he had a call with the baby mama, and I guess the baby mama don't like her, so she feel like she don't even want to go now. And I'm like, why is she like? Why is she in her feelings? Like we all like you already knew she didn't like you. You are like, and then he tell her his daughter told him out of her mouth like, yes, she wants to meet his wife, and it's just like she acting like she don't want to meet the daughter. You know what I mean? Because of the mama, and it's like that's immature. You wouldn't want him to treat your child that way, acting like he don't want to meet your child, don't want to get to know your child. Like the child is innocent. She has nothing to do with it. It's like, girl, grow up. And so he was like, okay, well, you can stay at my mom's house from Buffalo and I'll go see my daughter and then I can bring her back to my mom's house to meet you. She's like, no. And she's like, you can go do whatever you want to do. I don't trust him with his baby mama. Like, she just throwing a whole fit in the morning. And it's like, excuse me, ma'am. This is about him seeing his child that he's been locked up and he has not been a part of her life. It's not about you nor the baby mama. Neither one of y'all. At all. Like, she really was like ticking me off a little bit because I'm like, Troy seemed like the only level-headed one, and I'm just like, how? So it's the next day for Hope and Arthur after Arthur went to go meet his mom and didn't come back to eat the dinner that Hope cooked, and she like spazzed out. So he making her breakfast, and I'm like, okay. So she come out, she's like, I appreciate this effort, you know what I mean? He's making her like an omelet. I'm like, is this the only thing that these dudes know how to make? Is like eggs. I don't eat eggs, so it's like, do we have anything else on the menu? But anyways, so she tells him that she's gonna take him to a fabric store because when he was in jail, he was like, I guess, designing his own clothes, and his dream is to be a designer. So she gonna help him out, I guess. So I'm like, okay. So they go to the designer store and he pick out some fabric. It's like a chocolate chip camo. I'm like, okay. And she like, okay, you know what it's called? And he like, yeah, I'm gonna make me like a vest with like a white little thing. And I'm like, okay, cause men could be designers, you know what I mean? So I'm like, if that's what he wanna do, like he need to go for it. Like make his little line, you know what I mean? Get some stuff going, make that money, honey. So when he found the fabric, Hope's sister called. Wait, hold on. He was telling us in jail how when he was selling the clothes, how he would do it for other people too, but he didn't charge them. And I'm like, you in jail, but you ain't charging the other inmates to make clothes for them. I'm sure they was swapping stuff out. Like that just don't make sense. And then y'all know he was creating whole story lies. So I'm like, I like Arthur, but then I be kind of like trying to like read between the lines on what he be saying. Sometimes it don't be making sense. But anyways, jump back to Hope, and her sister calls and she on the phone with her sister, but she has not told her family about Arthur at all. And I'm like, how long have they been together? Like at all, nothing about him. So she just wants to wait until they pop up where they at and just introduce him like that. And I'm like, okay. So she on the phone with her sister, Arthur walking over, and she pushing him away, and he like, so when they hang up, he like, well, what is going on? Who was that? She was like, well, that was my sister. And she made it seem like she didn't want to ruin his moment in the fabric store. And I'm just like, she wanted to be a happy experience for him. And he's like, what else is she lying about? Does she have another boyfriend? And I'm like, seems like y'all be lying to each other. Like, but if y'all like it, we love it. And we're going to keep. Then they rolled over into Bianca and Daniel. And at first it was 30 days before Daniel got home and Bianca just moved into the apartment. So she was like freaking out because she just moved there and she was like away from her family and everything was new. You know what I mean? And it was hot there and she just missed everybody. So I was just like, girl, I don't know. But then she did like her apartment though. But then they just quickly flipped over to like the day before he got out of jail. So I'm like, well, what's she been doing the whole month? She pop on there and tell us that she just been getting ready for Daniel to come home the whole month. And she ain't really been doing that. She ain't make no friends, nothing. So she's making a welcome home Daniel sign tonight, like the night before he gets out. And yeah, he calls her. And then they start talking about how she's upset because she wants him all to herself, and I guess the family's gonna be there to when he gets out as well. And she hasn't met them in person. And from the phone call, when the dad asked her, how mentally stable are you? But I'm like, at this point, that was like a month and a half to two ago. You know what I mean? Like, and you've been there a whole month by yourself and you ain't meet them yet. Like, they could have showed you around. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. The month later, she said that she's glad that she left Florida and she's feeling better and she's feeling more independent and she liking the area. So, you know, she just needed to settle in. You know, she was just big changes, make you nervous. So I'm like, okay, girl. But then they start talking about how the conditions of his parole is to go to a halfway house, but Daniel is keep telling her that he not going to the halfway house. He want to live in the apartment with her. And I'm like, I don't think it's about what he wants at this point. I think it's about like what he got to do to not go back to jail. Like, he not making the rules. But then they was just saying, I guess he got to talk to his parole officer and ask, and I guess worst case scenario, he gonna have to stay at the halfway house. And I'm like, exactly. But yeah, that was it so far.